Aye.
Old business, Mapco property, non-compliance, follow-up on landscape compliance, Mr. Berkeley. I'm assuming that M stands for Mr.
Mildred. Let's see, we sent a letter.
Wayne's got something.
Good evening, everybody. First off, I want to introduce Scott Tucker. He is my extra set of eyes, like Ron Rowe is for the Planning Commission, and he's also going to be on the Board of Zoning Appeals as my help there also. So it's kind of my way of, with too much to do, like I did make a call to MAPCO, one call, had him out here yesterday at 4 o'clock. He's agreed to trim them, prune them. We do have a blight on one of them.
A what?
A blight.
Oh, I thought you said a bite.
Bit's true.
On the front.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. And he's also going to spray that and see how that works out. The next thing on the 2 trees or 3 trees that he is under caliper on, if y'all will tell me the amount for that 2 point whatever it is difference, then I'll approach them about contributing to the tree bank fund.
Do you know how much that will be? We have an idea.
I think Ms. Jane figured it the last time that we had an amount.
I'll have to go back and look at the minutes. I don't have those with me. All of them, but
You could forward it to me. Yeah. But he's agreed to, and he's
Good.
lives in Columbia, so he can come this way and hit Highway 7 if there's a need in the future. So a very nice gentleman. And like I said, it took 1 call, and within 30 minutes he was calling me.
Neil Weber.
No,
No.
Brian Hutchins.
Okay.
He's over the MAPCO maintenance division.
what was the last name?
Brian Hutchins.
Hutchins.
Hutchins. I'll give you the
Hutchins,
right name, yes.
So Jane, you will email Wayne how much they owe to the tree bank?
The difference.
Okay. Any more discussion? Are we good with that? Walmart landscape, follow-up on landscape compliance, required inspection by city arborist.
Here's the interesting point. David Jones, which did the last installation of most of the ponds that had such a loss, as of yesterday, he has been hired by Walmart to rework the irrigation. It's still up in the air about who's responsible. You know, you got 2 different landscapers. You got the initial installer, which is LSI, and then you got Chaparral Gardens that came in and did the replacements. Those died. Chaparral Gardens, David Jones of Chaparral Gardens wants to be compensated if they're going to replace them. But Walmart's got a new manager, so he is sending a note to the new manager at Walmart and seeing if he can get anything worked out for that. So again, this discussion I think we had last month is that who's responsible, and it is Walmart. My take is Walmart, not the landscapers. That's between the landscaper and the Walmart. So the fact that they're paying him to rework the irrigation is promising, though.
I believe they went out Saturday or something one day. I ran into the guy that was working on it. I forget how many breaks they said they had. There were several.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't very deep enough when it came in. But I think
So
it
it's
was
officially been
six.
a year, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
it was in August of last year. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
Mike Berkeley sent Codes a letter dated August the 19th, 2014, noting the inventory of the dead trees, and said that Walmart was already aware of it, according to Frank. The tree commission approved to provide a list of the dead trees to Walmart immediately, and they replaced them within 90 days of the meeting. So, I guess my question is, how much longer, I mean, does it really concern the city whose responsibility it is? I mean, they're gonna have to be replaced, repaired, fixed. So is it really something that we're gonna wait 2 or 3 years for them to hassle out whose responsibility it is? Or do we just want it fixed.
I think the answer's gonna have to come through the codes department to enforce whatever regulations are supposed to be out there. If they're in non-compliance, they're non-compliance, and he's gonna have to send something to them to put them in there or start some kind of procedure against them. And the reason everything's died because they hadn't had any water.
Because they use that value engineered
Yeah, yeah.
irrigation test
Yeah.
system like,
So, I think that's is Wayne's over the codes department. I think that's the next step on that. And just to go back a little bit, MAPCO also. I mean, we've already done what we're supposed to do. We've told them what to put in there. We've told them how many are dead. We've told them they need to be replaced. It's codes. Codes need to do whatever finding or regulation they need to put on.
then do I hear a motion that we send that recommendation up to the BOC?
Send it to me.
Same thing.
Do we have the authority to send it directly to Wayne, or do we have to send it to the BOC to send to Wayne?
You can send it anywhere, you'd have to send it to the planning commission first.
According to our ordinance, we report directly to the Board of Commissioners unless it is something to do, read to me, Jane. You're so good.
Let me find it. I know, she's so efficient. This is not my highlighted copy, so I've got to find it. Okay, enforcement, penalty, and appeals. Any person violating or failing to comply with provisions of the chapter with respect to public trees shall be guilty of a misdemeanor, and upon conviction thereof shall be fined $50 per tree for the first offense, up to $1,000 per tree for subsequent offenses. I'm not sure that's applying exactly to this, but that's the enforcement. It doesn't really say who we send that information to.
But doesn't somewhere it say who we report to, that we report directly to the Board of Commissioners?
It depends on what it's about.
Why don't we just send it to everybody? Somebody's surely going to act on it.
But it's going to ultimately go through the codes department. That's all what BOC is going to do because they're in charge of enforcement.
That
We're
is
not,
correct.
they are, if they need to have legal get involved in it to final charge, then that's what they will have to do that. Actually, Wayne will have to do that because the attorney reports directly to him.
I understand, but according to the workshop that I attended, I believe that none of the commissions have the authority to direct any city employee to do anything, that everything has to go through the BOC. So we don't have the authority to send anything to Wayne. It has to go to the BOC, so the BOC can direct the city employee. Patty, does that sound like what you
I'm
remember?
sitting here trying to follow, so it's coming back from the meeting, because there was something we just talked about that, one of the code, in the codes review, that, it went to Wayne. And, so, but I don't know if it would fall under this particular, it was a ordinance, or it was just passed, and it was a part of the codes review committee. But I don't know if this would follow under, so I would have to read back and see if it's on all situations, or it gave the it gave the codes director the ability to make a decision without it going. Do you remember exactly which one that was? I'll have to look it up. But why don't we do this? For right now, I like your idea of just sending it to everybody, and then we'll get clarification. I recall what you were saying, according to Commissioner Bissell. But, you know, as they dug into it, really everything has to go to the Planning Commission from us.
Before it comes to us.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. We really need to clarify and straighten it, because, you know, it's real confusing as a whole. For one thing goes to planning, other goes to board. So maybe that's something we need to clarify. And then I really need to know that ordinance, and I can't spout it off the head. But there was something that was just done in the Codes Review Committee that, that no longer went to the Planning Commission, but gave Wayne authority to address it. So let me look into that, and then we'll send that section out to you. Maybe tomorrow, if we could get Brandy to send that out, that would probably help to see if this fell. But for right now, let's just send it to everybody. I like
Okay,
that.
so do I hear a motion that we send to everyone the recommendation that Walmart be cited for their noncompliance? We've given them well over a year to comply, and instead of waiting for them to decide who's responsible, that codes will take the necessary steps to start proceedings to start fining them. How's that for a motion? Is there a motion?
So moved?
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
We just need some clarity on, once this board makes a decision, where does it go next?
Well, I think Patty said we're just gonna send it everywhere, and somebody's not,
That's not a legitimate
oh, I understand.
way to go up the ladder, so it needs to be defined on exactly where it
So
goes
who's gonna
to.
make the decision?
To me, this is just my thinking on it. Once we've made a decision and we've passed it up, you know, through him, everything's been approved, this is what we've approved. To me, it's up to codes to enforce that.
I understand that, Tony, completely, and I understand, I mean, I agree with you, but until this commission is given some sort of directive about what to do, we're kind of here in the pit, not knowing where to send it. So, until the BOC or someone tells me new information other than what I received at the workshop from Commissioner Basale, I'm working on what I was told at the commission, at that meeting. So, I don't know what else to do.
I mean, my guesstimate would be, it would go to the planning commission, but let's just clarify, especially because of this code that we, that gave him authority, it may fall under that, and so until we know, then, you know, we'll start working on that tomorrow and try to figure out. You're right, Commissioner Basile did say that, so I don't know, we'll just get that clarification, because, you know, a lot of time, you know, we hate to keep bouncing a ball back and forth, so let's try to figure it out and move forward.
I will be in Larry's office tomorrow. I'll try to ask a question. I'm paying for him to handle something else. I'll try to get something else handled with that fee.
You know, when it says that, if it's in the codes, they be cited, fined, misdemeanor, do it.
Well, yes, it's
I don't have a
Jane read
problem
that,
with
yeah.
them doing it. But like I say,
Well,
bouncing,
things
going
that-
back, you know, who gets what, who's on first, what's on second.
Yeah.
We should get a definitive answer of where it needs to go and let it be gone
That'd be
and
wonderful.
let us carry on with what we gotta do.
That would be wonderful. We would love that.
Well, and then here's the other thing, I don't want us pinging a pong back and forth and run out of time. I mean, that's basically what's gonna happen, and, so we need to figure out, and move forward.
The bond is still in place.
But I think it's a great move with Mike and Wayne and working together and doing that saves so many steps.
Right.
Unbelievable. And that's my goal, is to let us take care of the business we need to take care of. And once we've done it, find some new business.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, and as soon as somebody gets their business to me about who to send it to, then I'll send it directly to them. But until that time, according to Commissioner Basale, this commission does not have the authority to do anything except make recommendations to the Board of Commissioners.
We see.
Those were his words.
We'll work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, is there any more discussion about the motion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
And we get it on the agenda.
Okay,
I mean,
Wayne just makes,
have Wayne put it
Add it to y'all's agenda.
we'll get it on this agenda.
Is the code, City of Coast Department to enforce the tree protection plan, which is this ordinance.
right.
So it says Codes Department in
Said
there.
the
Right.
enforcement
I
of the
knew
tree
it was.
protection
But
plan
we don't have the
shall
authority
be
to send it there.
responsible.
You're fixing to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know.
If we have,
It's just,
it
Right,
makes,
common sense.
made sense to me too.
we just added it to the agenda for this Thursday night. So,
I don't think it's dire precedent.
5.3, update on roadscape project. Wayne, Mike,
Have you spoke with Andrew?
Yes, yes, I
spoke with
have.
him
I do
some
have an
today.
update, and the update is, he's waiting on utility
Piedmont
right
Gas.
away. Piedmont Gas is one of them, and I made a call to a contact I have at Piedmont Gas, and he was supposed to, all it needs is a letter stating that if there's a gas line, high-pressure gas line there, they will not plant over that line. And,
Oh, that's good.
you know, so I have the same problem somewhere else about, you know, high-pressure gas line with a guardrail around the playground, you know, so, anyway. But that's the holdup right now. And
Yeah.
after that, I think we'll be pretty close to going to bid.
He has a plan that shows some dotted red lines at the, would be the east end of the project, which is at the far, you know, as, before it starts, right there, before it gets to the post office.
I mean, the east end.
Is at the east end, yeah. So he's, if that, and there's no nomenclature on it that shows that it's anything, but that's what's holding everybody up. The package is together. That's the only thing, is to get that letter. And it's, it's called, Wayne, utilities.
It's the utility
release-
easement.
Release, yeah.
Yeah.
And TDOT's, it's done. I mean, you know, so the timeline, and he's told me today is that, some interesting things that, said that, okay, so everything gets submitted after this approval.
So we-
He's suggesting that the city puts it out to bid. Now, he will give us names of people that have worked on these roadscapes before, but he suggests the city put it out to bid,
Is
okay?
that not different than what he's told us before?
Well, there was a discussion on whether Los actually put it out to bid. The reason that the city would do it is because it's just right here, and if they wanted to see that I could meet with them, Mr. Hall could meet with them. He's suggesting that the advertising in the paper be done within the city. In other words, the Tennessean, whatever, local
They
newspaper.
usually tell us which one they want us to go through. Sometimes we have to go through 3 different.
And we have to pay for that. So there's not a budget for, in the roadscapes, money for that. So that would come outside of the roadscapes money.
Could that come out of the tree fund,
Possibly so.
since it has to do with the roadscape?
How much would that, any idea?
I don't think, I'll have to, what I need to do is check with TDOT and see what they may suggest, just one bid out in a paper, maybe the website that's free,
And you
somewhat
can't-
free. But we do have a maintenance deal with the website, but other than that,
You know, Tennessean's gonna be a little pricey.
yes, we know that. I can stay away from there.
Spring Hill and Brentwood use the Herald on a regular basis, so.
The thing about the Herald is they don't have the circulation here other than usually the internet is the problem.
You know, the inside is that Lawson Associates, with TDOT's blessings, has a list of purveyors, of vendors that have done this work before. And if you've done it before, you don't need a guy coming in there.
I'll check with Kim Thompson.
He said, the other point is that
So,
you cannot have an ad running more than 21 days till the bid opening. I can say that right?
So you could only run the ad 21 days prior to.
Prior to the bid opening. And if we're looking at a fall, early winter installation, that kind of puts a little bit of a time crunch.
Ooh. So when does that give us? Calculate, cipher.
Right now, and I said, so if Piedmont Gas came through with the letter tomorrow, okay, we're still looking at an October, November as a possibility, if that happens tomorrow. We'd have to expedite this ad.
Is it possible to get the ad worded and ready to go as soon as we get, so as soon as the letter comes from Piedmont, that letter is ready to put in the paper instantly?
Andrew has
I'll
a
check
form
with
letter.
Andrew Krieger on that.
Tell me the 21 days again.
You cannot be in the ad, in a newspaper, the advertisement for the bids cannot be
Longer than 21 days.
21 days before the bid opening. So if
From
you,
the
the longer
time-
you run it,
From the time the ad stops, there has to be
21 days
3-week
before.
delays before they can
Okay.
open.
I knew I was,
No, I knew it wasn't, it has to run that long. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere to do that.
so, you know.
So how long does the ad have to run?
I think it needs to run 3 times, I'm not positive. Wayne, what have we been having to put the bid out for? Is it 3 times, 3 issues, 1 issue, 1 issue?
One issue?
Yes, ma'am.
So that helps.
Yeah.
That's all we put out for falls along.
It's 1 issue, and I think it's 3 different locations.
3 different papers.
There you go, that's what it, I knew there was a 3 in there somewhere.
Then I would say Brentwood homepage, because that's an electronic, but it's still newspaper considered. The Herald,
One local, one minority. Yeah.
well,
If available.
If available.
Brentwood homepage is owned by 2 women. So I think that would probably qualify. And it's local. And so's the Herald. And what's the other requirement?
Local, which is the Observer.
Put it on the website.
So I think we got it.
Regional, local, and minority.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any more discussion? Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Wayne. Review and provide additional details and information on recommendations sent to BOC from April 2015 Tree Commission meeting.
I think we're still waiting, we keep deferring that based on when we get our new positions filled. So I'm going to suggest that that's why we've deferred it to date. So I'm guessing we will want to continue to defer it.
To September.
We also need to get back in touch with, I think, Lisa, you had a group, you were working with a small group of folks on some of those
The historic stuff and,
from way back when.
right.
And then Jack's working on some. So we just need to refresh everybody's mind on what they need to be prepared to do. And the BOC is going to hopefully vote Thursday?
Yeah, we hope so.
Is it on the agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, term expirations also deferred.
Correct.
Okay. New business, review of landscape plans for Hardee's.
How you doing? You can sit up here if you like. Oh, sure.
This
Mike
is
doesn't
Jamie
bite
Kemp
too
with
hard.
CEI Engineering, and she is the engineer for the whole project.
All right, glad to see you.
Thank you. Hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
All right.
We're all about the trees.
We're all about the trees, absolutely. All right, so, and according to Mr. Berkeley, you've done a great job. That's awesome.
Mr. Smith, what's the landscape architect?
Jeff.
Jeff Smith?
Yes.
Phenomenal. And anytime that I could speak with someone and do botanical nomenclature, I like this guy.
Well,
I
good.
guess we talked 30 minutes about trees. You know, just, that was not really related to this, but 30 minutes of just talking about trees and botanical Latin nomenclature. So
I will
he's
definitely let
great.
him know.
Kudos to him.
And we also appreciate that you've incorporated the city tree into the landscaping.
Great.
So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're
very welcome.
The redbud is a very hardy tree.
Yes. Mike, is there anything that we? Oh, a hardy tree. I'm so sorry. It's been a long day. Mike, is there anything we need, does anyone have any
No, I-
concerns about the landscaping plan?
I just want to, one of the things that he came up with is to not do all of the same variety of redbud. So the forest pansy, which becomes the most ubiquitous variety, we've got it across the drive at Mapco along the front. He sprinkled it in on this landscape, but he's also added another variety called Rising Sun, and it's a gold leaf redbud. It'll bloom the same color, it'll bloom simultaneously, maybe a little off of maybe a week or so, but you got the same bloom color, but the And so the contrast of the gold leaf up against that dark red leaf of the forest pansy, it's just going to be amazing. And the fact is that, and I don't have my plan, but how
I
many
know, I
total
started
red
it.
buds? Total,
16.
how many?
16.
16 red buds. So, right here in front of the city center, in front of City Hall, we've got the city tree. So that's what we want more of the commercial people to come in and do, is put, really chalk in the red buds. So
Have we discussed
good job.
irrigation? Irrigation's good?
We will irrigate, absolutely. It'll be a two system. We'll have the drip system on certain areas, and then we'll have a sprinkler as well.
And it is on the other plan.
And it will not be the Valiant engineered. Okay. All right, do I hear a motion, we approve the Hardee's plans?
Move to approve.
I have a question.
Okay.
One? How big do these trees right here get? How tall?
That's the,
Here, Mike.
rising sun.
Rising sun. You're going to get about 20 feet out of those, 20.
Okay, I want to feel where this is at. The businesses that are behind here, where are they located?
The strip, that's going to be the strip center back behind. It's going to be on the other side of that road, or the other side of the street, just kind of an angle.
Right here, City Center Way.
Yeah, I see where it is. I'm trying to get a feel, so my concern is that you've got all these businesses back here that need visualization and not being blocked, because they're already being blocked by some trees right now. And if we have some big, it's
But
just a
red
concern.
buds don't get, they aren't.
They're a
they-
small tree.
They're small trees.
They're not a shade tree or a large canopy tree. They are the small ornamental type trees.
At least I don't think that's going to be a problem with that tree. If they had put some oaks back there, maybe so, but, and they've got an oak,
There's space between them as well.
yeah. They've got an oak in there, the Shumard oak, which is really put where it can cool down the parking lot from the western exposure. I don't think that will be a problem. But I understand what you're saying. And
Well,
that's something
there's
we got to be
already
cognizant
trees
of.
that have been planted that block the view of the signage of the businesses back there. And, I have a business back there.
I
So
mean, it's-
I'm not concerned just for me. but
Right.
I never noticed before until I had a business back there that when these trees are planted and they get huge and they're right in front of people's signs, the vision, being visible from the road is gone, and that's all we've got is for people to know that the businesses are back there. We've got a monument sign, but it's real hard to see the businesses when it's covered in trees. And I'm not opposed to trees. In my opinion, they just need to be positioned properly so these businesses aren't hurt.
One of the thoughts about this and the struggle was at the beginning from the first meeting was where any trees were going to go to meet the density units. And that was really the only place. So going with the smaller trees back there, I think. And then with your point, what I probably need to do is look at those trees that you're talking about that's blocking your signage. Is that what it is?
Well, it's not
on
just
the
me,
building?
it's Farm Bureau and me, and there's one right in front of Jade Walk that's right,
And, of
it
course,
was
this-
planted just right
yeah.
in front of their sign, not Jade Walk, the nail salon.
Yeah, of course, this
Right
could
in
be a
front of their
discussion
sign.
on another day, but I would like to see if there's something we can do with those trees to help you with that.
And I
Okay,
just,
'cause we want to keep
the
the trees
reason I
in.
bring this up, because I'm great with trees, it's just that seeing this after the fact, how it's affecting, the businesses back there, I just thought, well, when other things come in, we might, try to take a look at that.
We always have to be cognizant of that. The focal, I think the big deal is where the focal point's going to be, right? So as you pull in, okay, into City Center Way, okay, you know, and you get up to about the MAPCO entrance and to the left,
Mm-hmm.
before you even get to the Publix proper, you know, you can look up through there and see, you know, that's, to me, is
See,
the focal
these are the
point.
ones I'm looking at
Yeah,
right here.
Right.
which are behind the Hardee's building.
Mm-hmm.
So from their focal point, they may not, from the Hardee's building, okay, the back of the Hardee's building, or even from that parking lot on the side, maybe they can't see that, those
And the
signs.
trees that are there, what kind of trees are there now, Lisa? Aren't those?
Oaks.
Aren't those
That's-
oaks?
Oaks.
That's what they look like, and they keep getting bigger.
Well, they're
and
oaks.
bigger.
Well, they planted
So,
one,
the idea-
they're planting one big one on the back corner of that building over there where she's at.
Oh, right beside the dumpster.
Yeah, it's
In a
a
little
little-
bitty patch that's like,
Well,
I mean,
I think, I think these are understory trees. They're red buds, so they aren't gonna get, I mean, you know how
Yeah, I'm not-
little a red bud is, so, I mean, they're small.
My concern right now, about what you just said, is not so much these three trees, but the trees that are in front of the building.
I mean, if
Front of your
we,
building.
if there's oaks there, then they're just gonna get bigger.
Well,
Aren't they pin oaks? Is that what's over there?
no, they had some willow oaks over there, and I'm not sure if that's what they are, but I need to look at them.
I don't know the
But,
difference.
you know, the idea is that you limb these up, then you got the view through, so it's fixable. You know, of course, we don't want to discourage the trees planting around this hard.
no, and I don't want to discourage trees. I just hope that we position them where, you know.
And these are
they're-
small trees. I mean, red buds
Yeah,
are
I'm not-
basically considered
yeah, I'm not
understory
worried-
trees, aren't
I'm
they?
not worried about, yeah, I'm not worried about
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor of approving the landscape plan for Hardee's, respond with aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I appreciate it.
it. Yeah, really appreciate it.
I will definitely do it.
You can have yours back.
Right.
Okay, 6.2, I believe we've also deferred this until our September meeting, or for the same reason. We need to have the new members if there's gonna be new members in place. Gentlemen,
What did you call it?
I knew she wasn't talking to me. Go ahead.
I know she wasn't talking to me.
I'm full of it.
Gentlemen.
Wayne Hall, do we have an update on the tree bank funds?
Same as last month. but
Same as last-
I'd like to tell you something else.
Okay,
I told y'all we were collecting interest. That's one thing I've been failed to let y'all know about. We've been collecting $8 a month interest.
well, hey, so every month we've earned money,
Wow.
$8 more than it was last time.
97,000 some odd did, right? Yeah, or maybe up plus 16 by now, because I failed to report it the last couple of years.
Well, hey, at least we're making money.
Yeah. Go figure.
Any citizen comments? Then the next tree commission meeting is Tuesday, September 1st. I almost said March myself, September 1st. And we are adjourned
Man.
at 7:35.